Hey guys, you got a few more minutes to go over that first episode? You're here, so I assume you do. Good. Firstly, I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see a couple of scenes. Jace comes home and updates Rhaenyra on who's pledging fealty, and we didn't get to see him in the Vale. That's a disappointment. We did get to see the North, but not very much of it. Not too much from him and Cregan Stark, really. I kind of hoped to see more of a bond. And I guess, should Rhaenyra tell her son about the prophecy fully, then what Cregan Stark had told him is going to make sense. I do like that Cregan Stark mentioned about, do you think that my ancestors built this wall to keep, just a little bit of riffraff out? No. And also the fact that he mentioned Alicent and Jaehaerys, I think it was, their dragons. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, I was under the impression anyway, that it was just Alicent that tried to cross the wall 3 times with her dragon, and her dragon was like, oh, hell no. I didn't realise it was the king as well, was it? Cregan Stark said it was, in the show. Yeah, I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see a little bit more there. I'm also disappointed that we didn't get to see Aemond coming home and telling everyone what had happened. I think if he had spoken to Alicent privately, then he would have said, I did not intend for that. This isn't on. But maybe in front of everyone else, he wouldn't want to show weakness. So maybe he would just be like, nah, shit happened. Roll with it, guys. But I hope, because I don't think that Aemond is truly evil. And also, he's got to be a little bit concerned that his dragon didn't fucking listen to him. So, the scene in King's Landing, that scene, the blood and cheese scene, as far as I know, in the books, I'm pretty sure Helena is supposed to be going up to Alicent's chambers because she takes the kids there, as a routine to say goodnight and things. And whoever Daemon hires is, they know the routine, so they go to Alicent's chambers, they kill her maid, so her maid's not going and telling anybody, they've broken in, oh no! And they, bound and gag Alicent. Helena comes in with the kids. She's got 3 of them, not 2, so there's twins and a younger one. And they obviously capture her and force her to choose which son for a son. Or, well, which child for a son? I don't... Anyway. They're like, look, if you don't choose them, we're gonna... Yeah, so Helena is forced to choose. And she chooses Maelor, I think the child is called in the books, the younger one. Because he's younger, he's not going to be aware of what's going on. And I'm pretty sure they're supposed to just... one fell swoop take his head. Bad still, but in that scene we really heard they were doing a hack job of that. Ugh. Also Helena's pauses and the fact that in the show, I don't think in the book she's supposed to be dreamy and prophetic, is she? But in the show they're making a deal of that. With he'll have to close an eye, and Aemond closing an eye, and closing an eye, losing an eye, and getting his dragon. Rah. She's worried about the rats. It's the rat catcher that comes and gets her. Well, gets the kids. So yeah, I can't. I'm still glad they didn't show it, but I feel like it would have gone a lot better if it did play out how it was supposed to in the books and they went to Alicent's chambers. But then in the show, they're really playing into Alicent and Kristen getting it on, and Alicent, she's supposed to be very holy, very into her faith of the 7, but behind closed doors, she is what's the word I'm looking for? It's all at her discretion. I don't know if that's the right phrasing, but we'll go with it. She's just doing whatever she fucking wants. I'll tell you how I thought that scene was going to go. And it's just because I pictured it in my head. And I don't know really how much influence Laris is supposed to have further on in the story. Obviously, he's still around. Everything's all, hunky-dory for him. But I kind of thought that Laris was going to be either blood or cheese, whichever one. So, yeah, he would be all limp. And then after they've done their deed and they're walking away from it, he would just drop the limp and escape that way. And yeah, I just kind of had this scene of him limping, and then stopping limping mid-walk. As if it had just been something he had put on all this time. Although in the show, he does have a weird thing with Allison's feet. So I guess it really is an affliction he's got. So yeah, I thought it would be that rather than Ratcatcher and the commander of the City Watch. But did you also notice, because before the small council scene, they showed the Ratcatcher and his dog, and then also when Aegon's in the throne room and, he's getting his petitions, and you see the Ratcatcher and his dog walk by in the background, and it really reminded me of, was it King Charles when he was getting crowned? And legit, there's something shadowy walking across the back of the hall. I don't know if they intended that, but omen. Bad omen. It was a bad omen. Yeah, in the show, Helena's all prophetic, so I am wondering with her pauses and things like that if she saw that they were just going to kill all of them anyway. I don't know. They seemed really inept at their job, honestly. Way in over their heads. Daemon should have just gone and done the thing himself and gone with the Ratcatcher. What a pussy. What a fucking pussy. Come on, Daemon. But yeah, I guess his intention wasn't actually to go and kill a child. It was to go and get Aemond. Should have just done it. Oh well, we'll get to see a good showdown, I guess. So, also, you guys have some thoughts, so I thought we'd go over those as well. So, Chris JQ8DB says, is it just me, or have they really gone almost entirely over to black's good, green's bad? Meaning Rhaenyra and her camp being the good guys and the Hightowers, everyone in King's Landing being the bad guys. And I don't think that is the case, because we do have some characters we really empathise with in King's Landing, like the Greens. Helena, one of them, she has not done anything bad except, she's born into that. She is wholesome. She does her little, needlework, and she likes bugs. Yes, sir. Aemond, I don't think he's entirely a bad guy. He didn't actually ask Vhagar to do that. He was sympathetic to the kid before at Laena's funeral. Yeah, I don't know. I think they are basically trying to do that, though, from the way they were portraying Aegon. Although we did have a little wholesome scene where he was really enjoying his son being at council. Although he was being a shit fucking dad, shit ruler. He was being like, yeah, do what you want. Like, yeah, that kid should not, that's not a setting the kid should have been in, But yeah, once he's there, fucking terrorizing Tyland Lannister, bless. Oh, it was a cute scene. And obviously, it's just one of these things in shows. When you get introduced to a new character, you're like, oh man, this person's going to die. Why are they making me feel for this character? Bad things. Next comment. Somebody liked the reaction format different from other reactors. It was a whole new thing for me. I had no idea what I'm doing. I still don't. I'm just glad that YouTube didn't copyright and just block it like they did with that season 1 recap. I will work on that and try and get that one out. AP 2019 also notes about Damon and the whole thing being a tragic mistake of targets. Those guys were fucking inept. So it was just an absolute fumble. Damon should have just done what he did, and Matt Smith's portrayal of Damon. Personally, I think Matt Smith is a fantastic actor, but he does give me the creeps. It's the whole no eyelids thing. Yeah, but as Damon, I think he's good. He's very borderline. I like how people are portrayed, but even if they're bastard characters, like Aegon, fantastic. I loved the throne room scene where he's totally unprepared and oh, we should give you your sheep back, we should give you your cattle back, whatever it was, and then saying oh, actually there's reasons why we've done that, and having to go back on his word was not really a good first move, really. I'm assuming that was his first time holding court. Stark, or STXRK, who always comments, thank you. They've got a lot of thoughts, so we'll go for a few. They didn't like a lot of things. Completely whitewashed Massaria and one is more... and blah, blah, blah. They've completely... Right, we're just going to read it. They've completely whitewashed Massaria, who was one of the more clearly terrible people in the book. I didn't like they made it so that Damon sent the two extremely incompetent hitmen to Aemond, who is the Green's best sword, whereas in the book, the targets, obviously the kids, quite literally wanted Helena to come in with her kids in the tower, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I didn't mean to blah, blah, blah. I'm not being dismissive. I just don't want to spend I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've done this kind of thing, and I'm trying to do it less editing and as if it was maybe a live stream. Oh, scary thought. Alicent fucking Kristen out of nowhere was very out of character. Her whole thing is piousness, yes, and being chained to these unjust laws and traditions of the world she lives in is literally what she chastises Rhaenyra for, but now she's alright getting up and down and dirty with Kristen Cole. I totally fucking agree with that. They completely botched Blood and Cheese, in my opinion. Book Virgin made 10 times more sense and was more gut-wrenching. I didn't want any gore scenes. I think the choice keeping it off camera was good, but God. No, Alicent being forced to witness the horror and unable to do anything. Oh, I am right. She's supposed to... Yeah. Oh, they didn't even do the "your mother wants you" deadline. That was... Yes, I remember that now from the book. They didn't. That, it is a more gut-wrenching scene in the book, as I imagine. It's... I feel like they just kind of swept through the scene. Anyway, I'm also thinking of doing a video that's just information on new shows and, updates on shows that I'm interested in and, think are really cool. So... I don't know if you're into them, but we'll discuss them. That's probably going to be it for today. I can't. Anyway. Right. Cheerio. You have a good day. Cheerio.